To celebrate the upcoming release of Halo Campaign Evolved, I thought it'd be fun to make a top 10 out of the 10 levels out of Halo Combat Evolved. Let's get it. Yeah, this one's a no-brainer. The constant waiting around for Guilty Spark to open the doors, the rocket flood on Legendary. If you like this level, sure. I do like the atmosphere in certain sections, like the claustrophobic maintenance tunnel sections towards the middle section. And the backstory of the flood from Guilty Spark sprinkled throughout the journey is welcome for sure. And also having the Sentinels helping out is nice. And the shotgun feels like a monster in this one. But even playing back again for the 100th time, yeah, it certainly doesn't change the fact that this is just one big tedious slog of a level. Love the atmosphere in this one. Starting out with the captain calling out to you to leave him, the broken down crashed Covenant battle cruiser with hallways that still feel familiar but foreign at the same time, and the trudge through the bleak, dark mountainous area with coolant flooding around is a nice backdrop for sure. But again, it's kinda sloggy. Dealing with the Covenant fighting flood, the combat forms shooting at you like crazy, the backtracking to get back to the ship after jumping down. Honestly, the stuff with finding Keyes and the moody atmosphere helped this one a lot, especially when you reach the room where Keyes is at. It's just assault in the control room in reverse. One of the biggest things I hate about this one is the middle section where you have to travel to and from the different sections to destroy the pillars with your armor's energy shields. Just more monotonous objectives, fighting against more waves of Flood and Covenant, even Sentinels. Getting to and from the ground floor to getting a Banshee and flying up in the skies, a lot of backtracking in this one. It's more varied than the library and Keyes for sure, with the vehicles and being able to move around different areas than one single area, at least in the library's case. And seeing the snow again, being able to drive the Banshee and go back through the openish landscapes make it feel better than the sloggy battles in Trek and Keyes. And seeing that opening cutscene where Cortana finds out exactly what Halo was meant for is another iconic moment from the series. And a huge revelation as well. It's like you're fighting through all this hell just to accidentally activate your own doom. Just to hold back this force you really have no hope of defeating. It's kinda bleak and depressing, honestly. The first steps on Halo still feel great after all these years. The introduction of the Banshees, Jackals, Warthog, and exploring around with the survivors on your Warthog was fun as hell. Going into the underground tunnels and hearing that ominous track when you reach the bridge controls to continue finding survivors, every little thing about the first look on Halo's surface still feels amazing, especially when you look out into the ring's distance and see just how huge the ring really is. The main drawbacks to this level, at least to me, is getting the survivors to survive, especially on Legendary. They just become meat shields after a while. And the kinda sloggy trek through the 3 areas to make sure the survivors are even there to begin with, while hunkering down with them to survive waves. It's small nitpicks, but still a fun level. A level so iconic that the trailer and gameplay footage for Campaign Evolved used the intro section of the beach battle just to show off the new look. And it's hard not to use this one to show off the game. The iconic beach skirmish, the hunters beating and tanking everything you throw at them, finding the map room and getting your Warthog stuck in the door to basically skip that whole section to open the damn thing again. So many great moments and sections in this one. The music is top notch, the action is fun, if a little spaced out from time to time with the Marines, and the trudge into the inner map room was and still is interesting to go through. The vast opening at the end of the walkway near the locked door making this feel like an even bigger facility than we see. Seeing more of the inner workings of the ring and what the map details held in store for us for later definitely made me more interested in what levels were still ahead in the game. The introduction to the game, Master Chief, Keyes, Cortana, the Pillar of Autumn, the Covenant, and a glimpse at Halo itself before landing on it later. Everything about this level had to be perfect to reel in new players into this new world, and it succeeded in spades. The level starts with you waking out of cryo sleep, getting to move around and set up your controls in a kind of fun way. You're then introduced to these aliens boarding your ship trying to get to you. You fight your way to the bridge, meet Captain Keyes, Cortana, and find out more about why you were brought back, what this new ring-looking thing is, and keeping Cortana out of the hands of the Covenant, otherwise it'd spell doom for the Earth. It's just a fun, iconic starting level. Hell, it might be within the top 10 opening tutorials / first levels in the video game ever. It does its job great, and it's a level that, while it doesn't really have a lot of stuff going on, just running and gunning to escape off the Pillar of Autumn, it sets the tone and atmosphere for the games going forward. And it introduced us to the flagship mascot for Xbox. Fun as hell level. So much was introduced here, and it never fails to get me hyped for the rest of the game. A race against the clock to save your captain from the Covenant, fighting through a canyon filled with squads of elites, grunts, jackals, and even fighting your way up a grav lift protected by waves of troops, including the tanky hunters. But wait, you also go up a grav lift into a Covenant battlecruiser named the Truth and Reconciliation, getting to see the size and scope of the inside of a battlecruiser. Having the storage port filled with wraiths, dropships, and many winding hallways, it was amazing to see. Fighting towards the bridge of the ship, you and the Marines finally find the prison cells filled with captured Marines and Captain Keyes. This one is just a fun little blitz to play through. The beginning where it teaches you how to use the night vision scope for the sniper, picking off grunts and elites with headshots, fighting through the canyon and finding the invis power up behind the tree, gunning up the grav lift. The music feels perfectly alien but also calming, navigating the guts of an alien ship, encountering the elites with their swords, the introduction of the hunters, zealots, and stealth elites, and having this great atmosphere throughout the entire mission, especially when you hit the grav lift. It can get a little tedious with the firefights, going through the almost same looking hallways to reach the top, and don't get me started on the AI for Keyes in this one. Jesus, the man just wants to go close quarters and punch the Covenant, I swear. But overall, this one is definitely top 5 for me. If not for the level and gameplay itself, then mostly for the atmosphere and music. When I first played Halo on co-op with my friend back in the day, this one level was one that we kept coming back to time and time again. The snowy backdrop, the music, the skirmishes dotted throughout the level, the sleeping grunts and stealth killing them, being able to finally fly the Banshees and use the ghosts, tanking through the level with Marines on either the Warthog or the Scorpion, the Siege of Madrigal Easter egg. This level sees you and some Marines gunning it for Halo's control room, placing Cortana into the main control room systems and learning more about the construct itself. Seeing the openish landscape of snow and built-in tunnels and caves the Forerunner made were sick. Flying for the first time in a Banshee using its weapons against the Covenant will never not be satisfying. Using the rockets, snipers, ghosts, and Covenant weapons to fight through the snowy terrain to reach the control room, and that ending scene where Cortana freaks out, gaining access to millions of data and information regarding Halo, learning that the Covenant found something horrible and that the captain is making a grave mistake in going after what he thinks is a weapons cache. It's kind of hard to talk about this one without talking about the amazing co-op experience you can have on this one. Going through the mission solo is fun as well, but it's a mostly solitary experience. Going through close quarter hallways and rooms against multiple Covenant troops and waves of them on the bridge can get a little overwhelming. So having a buddy to trek through those quieter and close quarter sections definitely helps. Overall, this one is still one of my all-time favorite Halo levels from the whole series. The level design, the amazing music, the atmosphere from the open area skirmishes, the vehicle-based battles, and multiple areas to explore and fight the Covenant in. And the story helps this one stay firmly in my mind as one of my all-time favorites. And if not for that, it's certainly one of the most beautiful looking levels in any of the Halo games. I don't know, man, I just really like snow levels, alright? Going back to where it all started, the Maw takes us back to the Pillar of Autumn as Master Chief fights his way through the wrecked hallways and familiar corridors to get to the main fusion reactors, detonating them to use the ship as a mini-nuke to destroy the ring once and for all. The stakes felt high as hell in this one. After finding out about the Flood, the main use of the Halo rings, and fighting through everything up to this point, you feel like the universe's only hope to save it from total annihilation from the Flood, and the level lives up to that feeling. Just like in 2 Betrayals, you're not only fighting the Flood and Covenant through the derelict ship, but also Guilty Sparks' Sentinels, which burn through your energy shields like crazy, as well as Spec Op elites and grunts with fuel rod cannons. Seeing the old ship sections that you went through at the beginning of the game had a weight to it. The mess hall, the bridge, the weapons armories, all these sections of the ship that had your allies fighting against the enemy with you are now empty and lifeless, destroyed or warped by the Autumn's crash into the desert, and now they're occupied by Sentinels, Flood, or the Covenant. The atmosphere had a certain sad, depressing air to it. Fighting your way back to the ship's main bridge, where you first met Captain Keyes and Cortana, you upload her into the ship's main control systems. She then attempts to start the self-destruct sequence of the Autumn, but Guilty Sparks overrides the command, trying to take the fusion cores offline, thus stopping you from destroying the Autumn and destroying the ring. Just when even Cortana doesn't know what to do, Master Chief has an idea. You then race through the cryo chamber to get to the engine room, blasting through enemies and even invisible Flood combat forms to destroy the engine shields and manually start the fusion reactor's detonation. Racing away on a Warthog towards one of the last remaining Longsword fighter ships docked in Launch Base 7. I don't know what else to say about this one, it's honestly a perfect ending to the game. Its ending is so iconic within the franchise that Halo 3 copied it for the ending of its campaign as well. Seeing Echo 419's death was sad as hell, and I also kind of forgot she was around, to be honest. And playing this one on co-op is a must, because you need a gunner for the ending dash to the Longsword. It's just a perfect ending level. Wild to see that after all these years, I still can't believe how strong this level is. It's nostalgic as hell, a full circle moment within the game's story. And the ending where Chief took his helmet off left us fans mad that we never got to see his face for years. Until Halo 4, then we saw his eyes and hair. But yeah, this one's just too strong of a finale. Anything less than top 3 would probably make me feel bad. Such a great level with so much nostalgia tied to it. It's just perfect. Well, almost perfect. I don't know what to say about this one. This one level has been dissected to death from various other Halo channels and videos. It's kinda hard to say something fresh. I could talk about the atmosphere and how it's one of the most perfect horror settings in an FPS level at the time, when the closest thing I think that could rival it in terms of atmosphere would probably have been one of the Quakes or even System Shock 2. The multiple references to the Alien franchise, from the chest bursters to the dialogue from the Marines, as well as the video you find from Jenkins, which also references the Predator's iconic chopper scene. The music is tense and moody, setting up the foggy jungle in the beginning. The lack of music throughout your trek in the containment facility adding much more dread and anxiousness to the player. It's just perfect. Just the sound of your boots clanging against the floor as you move from room to room, elevator to elevator, moving deeper into the facility, not knowing what the hell is going on. And that's probably my favorite thing about this level, the ambient storytelling going on throughout. Starting out, the level follows after the revelation at the end of Assault in the Control Room, where Cortana urges us to stop Keyes from finding what he thinks is a weapon cache before it's too late, telling the Chief that whatever it is, it's so horrible that even the Covenant are afraid of it. That's scary enough to have in the back of your head, but then seeing a group of Covenant running away at the beginning of the mission while you're getting dropped off, and finding a crashed dropship, the random friendly fire from the entrance of the facility, it's a hell of a start to the mission. Trekking through the first elevator and group of enemies, you start seeing weapons, comm devices, and doors broken and scattered about in the facility. Doors barricaded with bodies behind them just massacred. A strange yellow substance dripping from broken glass fixtures or holding cases. A jackal's corpse on the floor, and next to him a wall painted in his blood. You make your way deeper into the facility and see shade turrets set up aimed towards doors and burn marks across the walls. In one room, a lone crazed survivor screaming about playing dead to survive against monsters. Not just Covenant or other alien species, but monsters.
Play dead! That's what I did! Play dead! They took 5 months. Oh god, I can still hear them. Monsters! Ah! Ah! Ah!
You make your way even further down the facility, passing more bodies and doors that seemed forced open, and find a door with a spoofer on it. Chief opens it and a dead Marine falls on him. Bloodstains dot the room as he moves towards a dropped helmet. He removes the recording from the helmet and finds out what happened to the Marines in the room, as well as sees the events leading them to finding that room. Then, the Flood attack. It's interesting to note that the Chief actually felt a little scared when he first saw the Flood, and honestly, hell yeah, what the hell are these things? But after getting used to this new threat and fighting to get back to the surface, you run across survivors holding out against the horde of Flood nearby an exit. Echo 419 tells you there's a tower nearby that she could pick you and the survivors up at, and to make your way towards it. You fight through another wave of Flood coming at you through the jungle foliage and fog as you make your way towards the tower. And out of nowhere, these robots start coming out of nowhere and firing lasers. You then get teleported to the top of the tower and meet face to face with the monitor of Halo, Installation 4, called 343 Guilty Spark. He tells you his main function is to prevent the Flood from spreading outside of the ring, and he needs your help. You're then teleported away to the worst level in Halo. Again, I can't understate just how well crafted the ambient storytelling is. The dropped weapons, the scorch marks all around the wall, walls in that one room, the lack of music, the lack of companions or Cortana in your ear, everything about this level is perfect. And the only thing I could really say that's bad about it is probably the way the level is designed. You gotta zigzag, go up and down and every other way around to make your way through the facility, which isn't hard to do because there are doors blinking green and red. But it does get a little disorganized and disorientating when you have to jump up and down a level just to go down and have to go up some corridor again, but again, it's just a minor thing. From fighting through waves of Covenant to escape from the Pillar of Autumn, to finding out more about Halo from inside the Silent Cartographer, to flying around in a Banshee across a snowy landscape, stopping the Monitor from activating Halo, to fighting against an enemy even the Covenant fear. Halo Combat Evolved showed that the Xbox could give us incredible worlds to explore and stories to experience, and gave us one of the most important FPS games of all time. Without the success of Combat Evolved, I don't think Xbox as a brand would be where it's at now. And it's crazy to think that this game started out as an RTS, but later got refined into what we know now. This has been JoJo from Album Reviews and such, and I can't wait to jump into Campaign Evolved. I'll probably be streaming it on my Twitch channel when it drops, so if you want to see my first-hand comments and live reactions to it, come swing by on the 28th. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out my channel. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.